All right, welcome in a brand new week. It is a Monday edition of the Sports Huddle on SEMO ESPN Radio. Eric Shawn, lead singer of the Mike Rennick Band, in studio. And we invite you to join us here in the Huddle. Here's our EBOMD Huddle hotline number. It is 573-334-1220, 573-334-1220, the Huddle hotline powered by EBOMD. And if you have a smartphone, you can take us with you wherever you go. Just go to your app store, search for SEMO ESPN. It's free download. It has the Listen Live link. You can listen wherever you are. It has the link to our contests and promotions, the latest breaking news, the latest radar weather forecast. Also a link to our podcast page. It's the free SEMO ESPN app. Michael Rennick in the house.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, is that water in there? Are you a coffee drinker in the morning?
That is that's unsweet tea.
Unsweet.
Okay. Or unsweetened.
All right.
Guess it depends on.
Is that homemade? Do you go with Gold Peak? What are we?
It can be either homemade or stop off somewhere and get it. But I don't drink coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker.
Neither
you don't drink
am I.
coffee either.
No.
Now, do you not like
the
zero
the
taste?
Sugar Red Bull?
Yeah. Do you not like the taste of it, or just the?
No.
Yeah.
Now I can do on the occasion those iced coffees, like the Starbucks in the glass bottle.
Sure. Right.
Like they've got vanilla and caramel and mocha. Those aren't bad.
Yeah.
I think those are all right, but I like the smell of coffee.
I've always said I like the smell of it. I like the idea of, waking up in the morning and sitting outside on a beautiful morning and even drinking it, but I don't like the taste of it. So I'd rather have chocolate milk.
Not a fan. Oh, chocolate milk. Now I am a fan of that.
Yeah. I thought you were a chocolate milk guy.
And I know you're a Prairie Farms guy.
I do like that. I do like that quite a bit.
I was really upset when they closed down the Farm Fresh in Chester.
Oh, yeah.
You ever have Farm Fresh milk?
Yep.
No disrespect to Prairie Farms, but man, that Farm Fresh chocolate milk was just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was very good.
Really good. And some places you go in Cape, you can get the Borden's chocolate milk. So it's not just Prairie Farms, but Prairie Farms chocolate milk's great. And I'm a big milk guy, you know that. So I'm pro chocolate milk. All right, it was a Father's Day weekend. Any big Father's Day celebrations?
Activity? No, not a ton. We were around the house. Our oldest is going on a mission trip with his school this week, so we were kind of getting him packed up. Well, I shouldn't say we. My wife was kind of doing more of that. I was keeping an eye on. You had a kind of a tight Cardinals game. You had a really crazy finish to the U.S. Open on the golf side of things. And then I don't know, got into it, went outside occasionally and played a little basketball with my daughter and neighborhood kids. It was pretty easy going. You were at the ball field though, weren't you?
At the ballpark. They had the Kappa Classic Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the weather cooperated. They had a little rain, small delay one of the days, and that was it.
It's always nice whenever that works out the way it's supposed to.
The forecast was not looking great, and it ended up turning out all right. So it was a fundraising event. All the ticket sales and concession sales going to SEMO Baseball. Coaches were there for the whole tournament. Coach Sawyers was there for a couple of days, and then Coach Kinney, Coach Ezel, SEMO players were working. We had them up in the box doing the video board and the scoreboard. Had a couple of players up in the box for each game, so it was fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time. And luckily the weather was able to hold off. Man, it gets a little, it's going to start getting warm.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, when those, I liked the cloud cover over the weekend, but the minute the sun came out, it was hot and it was muggy. And that's, I think, a sign of what's to come starting this weekend. which will be the actual first official weekend of summer.
So this weekend, the Squirrels have the Big Nuts Classic. They've got a lot of teams from all over coming in for the weekend, but they will be playing on the road. I'll be outside in the heat. Tomorrow, they play in Van Buren. Played there last year, so I'm familiar with that park. But I'll be outside with a table and chairs. And then on Wednesday, they play doubleheader at Arcadia Valley. Ever been to Arcadia Valley?
I have. Brother-in-law's from up that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Ironton, that whole area there.
Back-to-back doubleheaders broadcasted outside in Van Buren and Arcadia Valley. So that's what's in my future. I think, this is just me, and I want to get your thoughts. I think the networks completely dropped the ball on Father's Day. ABC, ESPN, TNT. We did not have a Stanley Cup Finals game. We did not have an NBA Finals game. What is going on?
Well, they had the U.S. Open. So maybe they were...
That was a late afternoon finish.
Paving the way. Yeah, but it was rain delayed. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be late afternoon.
No. I mean, I just think it's a ball dropping there.
I don't know.
I mean, you absolutely have... I mean, you're right in the middle of the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals. You got to have one of those on Father's Day.
Well, we've talked about, here, the NBA does these, 2 and 3 day breaks between... I don't understand that at all. I mean, hockey is pretty much every other, is it not? The hockey Stanley Cup Series?
For the most part, they do have 1 2-day break. So, in other words, they played Thursday, Saturday,
right.
So they weren't going to go back to back, but they knew what day Father's Day was.
Well, and
then NBA Finals, they played Friday, so you take 1 day off and play Sunday. No, they're playing tonight, 2 days off.
Yeah, I'm with you. They dropped the ball.
I just think it's. I mean, isn't that a good
viewing day?
Not only that, but aren't you going to make a little money?
Sure.
You would think. I don't know. I thought it was very strange, Father's Day, and all we had was the U.S. Open, but it was a good U.S. Open. I wonder how much. I think I saw it was 150 to 1 J.J. Spawn would win the U.S. Open. And then when the guy bogeys 5 of his first 6 holes on Sunday, you're like, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to pull up freezing cold takes. How many people were tweeting out, this guy's toast, it's over. J.J. Spawn, the guy lines up. He needs the 2-putt from 65. Got to go up. An undulation on the green on 18. He has a chance to win the U.S. Open. Lines up a 65-foot putt. All he has to do is 2-putt.
Cozy it up. Don't need to make it. 2 putts.
How about just 1 putt for J.J. Spawn?
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I wasn't watching every minute of the final day, but would check in, here or there.
Neither was I.
Yeah, and then...
I was following the college baseball on my way back home from Kappahaw.
Yeah.
And I had the Cardinals, too, so, I was flipping back and forth.
But I think it was Victor Hovland who had the putt right before him,
yeah.
I think. Almost the identical putt, and they kind of showed Hovland make contact with the ball, and then Spawn kind of sprints over to be able to get the read. And,
it's a smart move,
and it's exactly what he obviously learned from the read, and he dunked it in. So, but you don't look at the leaderboard very often and see. Especially it seems like in golf nowadays, you don't look at the leaderboard and see all these over par scores. I mean, just a tough course.
U.S. Open.
Traditionally is tough.
And there have been plenty of U.S. Opens where the winning score is over par.
Yeah.
Miguel Angel Cabrera, how many years ago was that? He won it at +5.
Wow.
I mean, these courses. There was one golfer this weekend that finished under par, and it was Spawn.
That's right.
-1.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have finished under par had he not made the 65-footer. He'd have finished even par and won by a stroke. I mean, Oakmont, there were a lot of these golfers that were quietly frustrated and
happy.
complaining about. But you know what you're going to get in the U.S. Open, man. I mean, some of this rough. Can't even see your ball until you're almost standing over it. Where to go?
Yeah, it's wild. And man, some of the bunkers they get into, and Adam Scott was in a bunch of he was getting his bunker workout late in the round yesterday, and man, it's not easy. Golf isn't easy regardless, but that type of course, no thank you.
And apparently, scoring any runs is not easy against Milwaukee Brewer pitchers. And you and I kind of shuttered down on Friday. And, okay, what do we think the Cardinals are going to do in these final 3 games? And you and I both said they would win one of the 3, and that was, unfortunately, I would have liked to have been wrong. I'm sure you probably would have. And they won 1 of 3. So they have lost 7 of 8 and now are tied with the Cincinnati Reds for 3rd/4th place in the division. And the offense in those 3 losses, 2 runs, 0 runs, 2 runs. They scored 4 total runs in their 3 losses.
Well, I'm not going to lay it all at the foot of Lars Nootbaar, or the feet of Lars Nootbaar, but we can start with him. Was he 0 for 5 Friday with 4 strikeouts? Is that what the line was?
Yeah, and this month, Nootbaar, it's 5 for 44, 19 strikeouts.
Yeah. It's not going to get it done, obviously. You're seeing guys like him kind of. I mean, is he coming back to the pack, or a Victor Scott II? That started off well for the Cardinals, obviously.
Victor Scott is 5 for 34 with 13 strikeouts in June.
I mean, a guy like him just can't. I mean, he can't be striking out.
Yeah,
you got to have him on base. I know there was a stretch there where he was, a lot of his outs were fly balls, that's just not where he needs to be living. So again, is this the true colors of Victor Scott?
And they didn't have an option on Sunday because when Jordan Walker was activated, guess who got sent down? Michael Ciani. So they didn't have. He wasn't going to put Nootbaar back in there. He needs some time. And this finishes a stretch. It's the day off today, final day off in June, where they played 13 consecutive days. And the Cardinals went 4-9 in those 13 games. They have 4 wins in the month of June, and today is June 16th.
Kind of a interesting. You had the stretch there early that they lost, that we were losing, and and again, I don't have a lot of numbers to back this up. Just memory recall. It seemed like the pitching was the problem, and then it kind of morphed into the pitching kind of stabilized a little bit in the Milwaukee series, minus I guess the first game, but. Just no offense. I mean, there was no offense in that first game. That was against the
Mizorowski.
Yeah, the guy they'd never faced before, from Blue Springs, Missouri, and they, He didn't, but the Brewers shut him down in that game offensively. So not getting the offense going, and you kind of got the pitching that you would hope for over the last 3 games, I guess, for the Cardinals. So
And Michaelis, I mean,
he did fine.
6 innings, 2 runs. That's a good quality start.
Yeah.
And then John King comes in. He couldn't give up a run fast enough. And they end up scoring the run on a little dribbler out in front of the plate that King has to throw to first, but it's hit so weakly he can't even throw home. So King comes in, gives up the run, and it just didn't work out for the Cardinals. Had King been able to navigate through the inning, then this would have tied it in the top of the 8th.
Swing and a drive. That ball is launched deep toward left, and that is high off the facade of the standing deck above the bullpen. Ivan Herrera with a long homer has made it a 1-run game.
That swing right there, the 8th of the season for Herrera, that was a thing of beauty. You want to talk about getting extended on one. Went down and got a cutter. Tried to go backdoor, did Koenig, and Herrera just launches this.
Boy, Herrera's a good hitter.
He is. Hey, do you think this Brendan Donovan leading off might stick at all? Or do you think that's just a...
It could.
I kind of like him there.
Yeah.
I mean, just it's nice to see a guy get on base. That's obviously the point of your leadoff guy, the first time around at least. But
I was encouraged in the 9th inning. I mean, they bring in McGill, who is popping 101, and Nolan Arenado with a 12-pitch at bat, and he gets a base hit. And then Nolan Gorman surprises everybody in the ballpark by laying down a perfect bunt.
Yeah.
2 on, nobody out, and you're thinking, all right, they're at least going to get this thing tied. Victor Scott, K. And it was KKK.
Mm-hmm.
It was Jordan Walker, and then that last swing by Mason Wynn. Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if I've seen a worse at-bat from just the way swings look than that one. I mean, there was some...
He's a competitive guy, so, it's not like he was up there just going through the motion.
No, but it just shows you the stuff that he was facing, Even Arenado's at bat. I mean, there was some really kind of just awkward defensive swings, but he kept fouling it off. And
he had 2 career home runs against McGill. So
yeah.
he's done okay against McGill.
Yeah. But yeah, man, thought their Tide's going to tie this thing up, and then just kind of sheepishly went away into the afternoon.
I think Jess always talks about he's talking to himself and talking to the TV. When Jordan Walker takes 95 or 96 right down the middle for strike 3,
mm-hmm.
he's sitting slider.
What
there.
are you waiting for?
What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough series there. Obviously, we talked about the Brewers playing a whole lot better. They got a really good team. I mean, they got a really good team.
Every year.
Yeah. Every year.
Their RBI leader from last year, Willie Adames, gone. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Oh, by the way, Brandon Woodruff is on a rehab assignment. He'll be back.
He hasn't been there since the start, right?
He has not pitched at all. He missed all of last year. He had a little bit of a setback. He took a line drive off his pitching elbow in a rehab start, so it set him back a little bit. But he's going to be back sooner than later.
Yeah. Well, they get a little breather
today. It was a
today.
shoulder deal. It was a shoulder capsule deal. So it wasn't like it was Tommy John.
It wasn't Tommy John or...
I mean, if he comes back and he's close to what he was, I mean, he is an all-star pitcher.
Oh, yeah, absolutely is. Well, going back to this stretch, starting with the Dodgers at home, I mean, it's probably your toughest stretch of the year, you think?
Yeah.
Without
Dodgers, Toronto, Milwaukee.
Yeah, I mean, and the Royals before that, which I know they're not necessarily the same caliber as the Dodgers or Toronto for that matter, but still a good ball club.
And, we're talking about the guys that are not doing the job right now. Ivan Herrera is. Big home run for Wilson Contreras in their lone victory, snapping the 6-game losing streak Saturday. And Nolan Gorman, in June, is hitting .344 with 3 homers and an 1120 OPS. Suddenly,
that's encouraging.
Runway.
Yeah.
Nolan Gorman.
Getting a chance to be in there. You mentioned Contreras. He got a little feisty with the Brewers over the weekend.
I like it.
I do too. He brings and he's not, he doesn't come across being a jerk about it. He just has fire. He's fire. He's feisty, and sometimes that doesn't always translate well to the other team. I know they were upset. They thought, he tried to trip one of their runners.
Right. There was collision.
And it
contact.
Didn't appear that he had really done that, but
and then Jose Quintana hits him on purpose, clearly on purpose. Right. And the rest of that game, or potential for suspensions, maybe a suspension from Quintana if they deemed that he hit him on purpose. Contreras gets hit, starts jogging to first, stops, goes back in foul territory to pick up the baseball, and then jogs to first, gives the baseball to Quintana, and then pats him and goes to first base.
Yeah.
He totally neutered anything that potentially could have happened after that.
Yeah.
Marmol came out, talked to the home plate umpire. I did not see. There were not warnings issued.
No,
and
I
had
didn't see it either.
There been a different reaction by Wilson Contreras, we probably would have had warnings. The bullpens may have jogged in from the outfield. They never do anything when the bullpens jog in. And then the umpires could get together and decide whether or not Quintana threw at him on purpose. If they deemed that he did, they could have ejected him. And then once that happens, then it goes to Major League Baseball's front doorstep. And then you have to decide, okay, is Quintana, are they going to sit him down for a game? None of that happened because of Wilson Contreras' reaction.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize.
Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you could take his reaction either as, hey, I diffused it, I'm going to diffuse it, or you could even probably make yourself think that he was trying to show him up by doing what he did too, but I think he, given the kind of player he is, he understands kind of the situation that he diffused whatever potentially could have been there. 'Cause I think they tried to hit Burleson. He was before Contreras.
Yeah.
Seemed to throw at him some to no avail, but they've obviously that's all been cut down. I mean, you don't see that. You don't see it much anymore where they're pegging players. I think the owners have decided they've kind of put their foot forward with we don't want this to become beanball. If it happens, get them out of there, and they let the everything kind of continue as normal on Saturday.
So the Cardinals will try to figure things out. I mean, I don't know. I have to check and see if the Reds play today. It's a Monday, which is always a lighter schedule. Okay, so the Cardinals will, at bare minimum, be in third place. They will not fall into fourth place without playing tonight, and then they go to Chicago to play the White Sox. Matthew Liberatore, Sonny Gray, Eric Fetty will be the 3 pitchers. And the White Sox are playing better.
They are.
They still stink, but they're playing better baseball. So we'll see. I mean,
their big issue's been the back end. It seems like they've had some good starts. They've had leads, or they've been right there.
They got a couple of pretty solid starting pitchers.
Yeah, just the no one to close it down for them.
So,
I mean, how many players do they have that should be good players from all these trades that they have made? You know, you had the Crochet trade recently, and I mean they've obviously let go of a lot of top names. So you would think that some of the prospects are eventually going to start paying off for them.
They set the modern day. Now keep this in mind. They set the modern-day losses record last year with 121 losses. But when they played the Cardinals, they won 2 of 3.
They did.
And that was last year.
At Busch.
Yeah. And they're better this year. So on paper, you're saying, okay, let's get to Chicago, get a 3-game winning streak rolling here. Not so fast, my friend.
I would say not so fast. I think 2 or 3 is very possible, but
you just don't know. I mean, not with the way the Cardinals are playing right now. And Sonny Gray coming off his worst start of the season. And quite frankly, Matthew Liberatore has kind of come back to the pack here.
Yeah, not past couple 3 starts. Not what we saw out of him really for that long. The stretch there when the Cardinals were humming along pretty well because of their starting staff, he was playing a big part of that. Not so much as of late.
A former Cardinal involved in a big, high-profile, shocking trade in Major League Baseball yesterday. I think it caught everybody by surprise that the Red Sox shipped Rafael Devers to the San Francisco Giants, year 2 of his 10-year deal. So he's got 8 years with the Giants, who take every dollar of his contract, over $250 million. And the former Cardinal involved, Jordan Hicks, leaves San Francisco, along with left-handed pitcher Kyle Harrison, a couple of prospects, a pitching prospect, an outfield prospect, going to Boston. I don't think anybody saw this Rafael Devers trade going. The Sunday Night Baseball crew of ESPN, Carl Ravitch, David Cohn, Eduardo Perez, during the game last night, it was Dodgers-Giants. So right there, you're talking Giants baseball, and they make the trade. They brought on Jeff Passan to talk about why in the world did this trade go down. Of course. Now, why would the computer let me actually play the sound here? Let's see if we can get Jeff Passan.
What's the overarching kind of message about this type of deal from both teams?
Carl, I think it's very simple. Rafael Devers, after all that had happened with Boston this spring, the move from third base to DH, then them wanting him to play first base, did not want to be in Boston anymore, and the Red Sox saw this as an opportunity to get rid of more than $250 million that he was owed, and the San Francisco Giants are taking on every penny of his remaining contract that runs through 2033. At the same time, the Red Sox in Kyle Harrison and Jordan Hicks get a couple of arms. They're also getting James Tibbs, the first-round pick from the San Francisco Giants last year, 13th overall out of Florida State, as well as one more prospect. Regardless of the mechanics of this deal, Carl, it is a shocker. The timing is shocking. The magnitude of the player is shocking. And again, Rafael Devers was supposed to be the guy that Boston was building around in the future, and now he's going to be a San Francisco Giant.
Man, I am stunned. Now, there was chatter at some point when they first brought in Alex Bregman. Then it was, all right, Devers is, immediately they talked to Devers once the signing was made, spring training, and he's like, I'm the third baseman. Well, they eventually talked to Devers. Bregman, Gold Glove winner. You go back over the last, I think, 3 or 4 years, by all defensive metrics. Rafael Devers is the worst defensive third baseman in the major leagues. The worst in the sport. All the defensive metrics say so. So they move him to DH. Then they get a season-ending injury at first. Asked him to play first base. He said, no, I'm not going to do it. Guys are jerking me around. So there were some who thought they're going to trade him. I mean, they're not going to stand for this. And they did for a while. Yesterday was his last at-bat as a Red Sox. He hit a home run. They swept the New York Yankees in a 3-game series. So his last at-bat as a Red Sox player was a home run, and now he's going to San Francisco, where some of those balls that bounce off the Green Monster or maybe make it to the top where the monster seats are, they're not going out in San Francisco. The Giants, believe it or not, and now it's a big ballpark, the Giants have not had a 30-home run hitter since Barry Bonds retired. Think about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. 30 home runs, huh? Well,
that includes Buster Posey.
He must have. He obviously knew this was coming. I mean, I don't think it was probably a surprise to him that he hit a home run and then you're being shipped off. Bye
bye.
I mean, there was obvious turmoil there with him, and the front office just said, you're not going to decide where you play and when you play. That's our job. I kind of like it because of that, I mean, you get onto a team, it's not you're not the one that makes the decisions on where you play. That's the manager's job or whoever else is running the team, and so go have fun on the West Coast.
He's a terrific hitter. He's 40% over league average the last several years.
Yeah.
So Devers in his prime, he's 28 years old, year 2 of the 10-year, $331 million contract for Devers. So the Giants absorb all of that, and the haul back from that Boston gets isn't as big as you would think it would be because the Giants ate the entire deal. Oh, by the way, the best defensive third baseman in the National League plays for the Giants. Matt Chapman. Now, he's on the injured list right now, but he'll be back. And the Gold Glover is going to play third base, not Devers. But they, I think, rank 28th in offensive production in Major League Baseball at the first base position. Now, he refused to play first base for Boston.
He'll probably be fine in San Francisco.
What's he going to say with the Giants, or is he going to be the designated hitter?
Yeah.
We don't know yet. But
what does that open up? There was a while there where there was some discussion about Nolan Arenado going to the Red Sox for that open third base position. Doubt that Devers being traded really changes that at all. I mean, as you said,
Bregman's on the injured list too, but he'll be back.
Right, yeah. Unless they move, decide to move Bregman to be DH and look for, but he's a Gold Glove third baseman. So why would they do that?
Yeah. Anyway, I love, and this is before the trade deadline. I mean, we had it not as big a name, but the reigning batting champion, remember, got traded early in the season when Luis Ariz got traded from the Marlins.
Yeah.
I think it was it might have even been in April or early May when they made that deal to trade him to the San Diego Padres. Now this is well before the deadline, so little activity. And tonight we've got a pretty cool thing because the big story in baseball now since the Devers trade, oh, by the way, Shohei Ohtani is pitching tonight.
Is he taking the mound for the first time?
For the Dodgers against the Padres. He is pitching tonight. The only caveat is, and this is fine, he'll be the opener. So,
okay.
We would anticipate he's going to pitch one inning, He'll start the game against the Padres tonight. Ohtani is back. And it's been a while since he's pitched. Okay, 2023, last time he pitched. But I just wanted to remind you, his career record as a major league pitcher, 38-19. He's got a career ERA of 3.01. It is 608 strikeouts and 481 innings. It's a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Shohei Ohtani on the mound tonight.
That's pretty exciting.
You think that's a sellout at Dodger Stadium?
Boy, isn't it always a sellout at Dodger Stadium? Typically, I mean,
close.
They always are up there.
Speaking of sellouts, they had a sellout in Milwaukee yesterday. So not only are the Brewers better than the Cardinals, now they're outdrawing the Cardinals.
Outdrawing them as well.
I mean, they've just been freaking passed like a high-speed flyby in Top Gun, where the air boss spills his coffee all over his air boss jersey in the tower as Maverick and Goose buzz the tower. That's how quickly the Brewers flew by the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, they're kind of digging. They're digging in there, aren't they? They got the standings and the butts in the seats as well.
Now, I think paid attendance, Cardinals are still ahead of them, but it was a sellout. How many sellouts have we seen at Busch Stadium this year outside of opening day?
Yeah, I was going to say opening day maybe.
So Shohei Ohtani tonight.
So you think one inning, is that it?
Well, I'm just going to say traditionally, openers go one. Once in a while, you'll see an opener pitch into maybe the second inning, but it is a 9-10 game. And with that in mind, Major League Baseball Network has picked up the game.
Oh, good.
So you do not have to be, as I am, a subscriber to MLB TV. Can see any game. You can tune it if you've got the Major League Baseball Network. You can get it tonight. Late night baseball. It's 9:10, but it's Dodgers Padres and Ohtani back on the mound tonight.
Well,
I think that's exciting for the game.
I agree. I mean, his obviously when he came to the major leagues, I mean that was the exciting part. He's a two-way player, and that he was going to actually do it, and so on and so forth. So I think having him, I just hope he stays healthy. You know, I mean that's the thing, is just keeping him healthy, keeping him out there, and letting him. I mean, he's a heck of a pitcher. Jeez. Obviously, he just ran through those strikeout stats and everything. So I think it's good for. I think it's good for the game to see him out there doing that.
So if the MVP voting, and he just won the MVP without pitching last year. Now he's not going to be 50-50 again. But if the MVP voting took place right now, Ohtani's probably the National League MVP.
Good chance.
Again?
Yeah, good chance.
Now that he's going to be back in pitching, when is he not going to be the MVP?
Very good chance.
Yeah. When is he not going to be the MVP going forward? Now that he's out of the American League, I mean, Judge has a stranglehold on that.
Well, and let's face it. I mean, the Dodgers, I know we're kind of talking about it a little bit as a novelty, so to speak, that he's back, but they need him and they probably need him in their starting rotation.
Yes, they do.
I mean, you mentioned the Giants. The Giants, just make a trade. I mean, that West is really, really
it's a good division,
bottlenecked up, and if that's a word, and
everybody's over 500 except obviously for the Rockies,
right? And part of that, part of the issue for the Dodgers is their starting rotation. I mean, it's just decimated by injury. So here comes Ohtani. Here comes Ohtani to, kind of stave off the Giants.
I wonder how long are they going to use him as an opener before he starts to, get built up and it can go a little deeper into ball games. They're going to take their time. They've got a 2-game lead over the Giants.
Well, they're not going to obviously send him down to get work.
You send him down on a rehab, you lose your best hitter.
Yeah, so it's kind of he gets work as in situations like this, but I'm sure they're excited probably on many fronts. Number one, they need the pitching.
So, do you think Ohtani is the best hitter in the National League?
Yeah.
Do you think Aaron Judge is the best hitter in the American League?
I do.
Do you think Aaron Judge is now the greatest Yankee hitter of all time?
Oh, man. That's a hard one to go with.
Well, Steve Phillips from MLB Network Radio and MLB TV weighs in on what he believes to be true, that Aaron Judge is the greatest Yankee hitter ever. To quote Phillips, and we'll hear from him when we come back from this timeout, what Babe Ruth did cannot compare to what Aaron Judge is doing. And keep in mind, Judge went 1 for 12 in the sweep against the Boston Red Sox over the weekend. Does Steve Phillips make a compelling case Aaron Judge has surpassed Babe Ruth as the greatest Yankee hitter ever? We'll hear from Phillips when we come back. Sports Huddle. Sports Huddle. SEMO ESPN. 1220 AM 93.5 on the FM dial and online at SEMOESPN.com. Before we went to break, talking about Steve Phillips, MLB Network and MLB Radio. He hosts the morning show, Morning Drive, starting at 6 a.m. Central Time on MLB Network Radio. He was on with Brian Kenny on MLB Now and making the case, Mike, for Aaron Judge being the greatest Yankee hitter ever, and that includes Babe Ruth. And that includes Lou Gehrig. Steve Phillips, former general manager of the New York Mets.
As you've been talking about it, I mean, some things came to my mind. And I think we talked about the errors.
Just as you sat here.
Yeah, as I sat here, I came to it. And so I was you counting some things up here as I talked about it. So you look at Ruth, you look at Maris with his 61 home runs, you look at the great seasons for the Yankees. I would make a case that Aaron Judge is the best Yankee hitter ever. And take a look at this. So batters face. So, you know, we know that the more you face a pitcher, the more comfortable you get. Babe Ruth, when he hit 60 home runs in 1927, he only faced 64 different pitchers, 7 of them one time. Roger Maris in 1961 faced 101 different pitchers, 14 of them only one time. And so the familiarity benefited the hitting. Aaron Judge this year is already faced 156 pitchers, 78 of them one time. And when he hit his 62 home runs, he faced 256 different pitchers, 93 of them only one time. And so there was no familiarity when you think about it. Rube Wahlberg gave up 17 home runs in his career to Babe Ruth. So Aaron Judge has hit 6 home runs against Kevin Gausman, 3 of them last year. That's the most he's hit against any one person. I look at this era where, you know, there were 8 teams, right, in the American League when Babe Ruth played. But that familiar, he faced the same guys over and over again, and the guys he owned, he kept owning them over and over and over again. For Aaron Judge, he's not facing anybody that many times. He's averaging just over 1 home run per pitcher faced. While you think about it when Babe Ruth, he 3 home runs per pitcher. He faced, 714 home runs. He was facing 64 pitchers throughout that time. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable the difference between the two. Judge is the greatest Yankee hitter ever. And what Babe Ruth did cannot compare to what Aaron Judge is doing.
See what he's doing here? You see what he's doing? I think you did a great job. Just as I'm doing the essay, you came up with all that, and you had
amazing.
They're all there and everything. He's been planning this for weeks. Hold on, can I address this for a second? Yes. And because it is, it was a yes, and.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and Also, they would say back in those days, there were 8 teams, and I know guys who played in the NBA saying there was a certain amount of guys playing. It's an NBA reference.
Yes.
A certain amount of guys playing, and then the rest of the guys that are playing today for those other teams, they couldn't have played in our league because it was like an upper league. So it was smaller. Yes, it wasn't segregated. Yes, now there are many fewer pitchers, but the level of talent was more concentrated. And once you go down the contextual rabbit hole of, they were riding on trains, and how many people worldwide were playing baseball anyway, you can lose context. But yes, they face many more pitchers now, and the stuff seems to be much better. Will we allow that?
Yes.
Okay, we'll allow that. And the greatest, what was the last thing that I can't let go?
The greatest Yankee hitter ever.
Yeah, no, I mean, Ruth.
Why no? I don't understand.
Ruth has for his career, had a 206 weighted runs created plus, a 206. Judge is at 178. It's just not close. That considers the run scoring environment. It's not close.
It is not even close to what Ruth participated in against what Judge is going through.
You're going in the contextual, right?
Yes.
My guy rode on trains too.
But if we're
My guy rode on trains too.
Man, that doesn't.
Phillips makes a strong argument about how many different pitchers you face and how many that you only face one time.
Yeah, I mean that is a conversation that has no end to it. It's
a good debate.
It's something that people that like to talk want to talk about because.
And Brian Kenny loves to get into those kind of debates and break down the numbers. I mean, it's MLB now. If you've got MLB TV, you can watch it. It's fun. He's a fun guy. They do debates. They just break down numbers, and they go with the newest stories. And they're going to be breaking down the Devers trade today, and they're going to be breaking down every pitch Ohtani throws in the game tonight against the Padres. But I thought that was a really good debate. Because right now, Aaron Judge, by all of the metrics, is the best hitter in baseball and has been for a while, and you can put his numbers up against Ohtani. And now there are claims he's better than even Babe Ruth. And Ohtani, of course, compared to Ruth as well, because Ruth was a terrific pitcher before the Yankees said, you're not pitching anymore.
Yeah. Well, again, it's an argument that you could have. I mean, it's so tough. I mean, if you were to just take, and believe me, I know this is a ludicrous way of trying to of making a point, but if you had a picture of Aaron Judge and you had Ruth, they're side by side. I mean, from an athleticism standpoint, I mean, Aaron Judge it's no question that Aaron Judge leads the way, right? I mean, and I know that doesn't necessarily translate into numbers by any means, but it's just they're just different eras, I mean,
and there were
different.
There were no non-Caucasian players and pitchers that Babe Ruth ever faced.
Yeah, it's just a hard argument to make one way or the other because you're just the circumstances. I mean, what did he say there at the end? I'll go with my guy that was riding on trains. Yeah, that's a factor. Sure, transportation, how you get around. I mean, all those different things. So that's just a tough rabbit hole to go down.
So at the College World Series, Murray State lost its first game, 6-4 to UCLA. There is already a conspiracy theory that was going around on social media about the home plate umpire, who was absolutely terrible. And if you watch the game, unfortunately, I have to say it was a little one-sided towards UCLA and against Murray State. The strike zone was terrible for this guy. And this comment appeared online. The home plate umpire's name is Casey Mosier. He's a former Pacific League umpire who had already worked several UCLA games this season. And this quote said, Murray should have protested this one before the first pitch. The guy was not good. I'm driving home from Capitol Hall after calling a Squirrels game, and I'm listening to our broadcast here.
Yeah, I did too.
Westwood won.
Yeah.
And especially in that ninth inning, these announcers, those announcers that are doing the games they have no dog in the fight at all. And even they're quoting TrackMan, as I did this year. I got to use TrackMan at Capahal because now they've got it.
Yeah.
And they were just saying, I mean, that pitch is not a strike. It's too low. TrackMan even says it's low. That's how they grade the umpires on TrackMan. It's the greatest technology there is. So even the national radio guy, and this is just the ninth inning, I don't even know what they were saying for a lot of it, but
it started early.
I had the video up in the press box, and I'm watching the strike zone.
Yeah. Well, on our broadcast, I was listening to it out in our garage, getting some things together for the day, and it started really early where they were questioning his strike, because it started out really tight. Like, their point was, typically, on the college side of things, given that there's so much offense, they'll give you like an inch off. You got about an inch, as far as the strike zone goes.
Right.
And he made a comment, and I kind of caught it halfway through, that a lot of the umpires maybe at the World Series are former pro umpires. And again, I could have misunderstood that.
Okay.
And that they're used to calling the strike zone the way the strike zone is supposed to be called, and not giving that, that buffer, so to speak. But the conversation started very early about the home plate umpire strike zone, and it didn't end.
There is a buffer on the TrackMan technology, by the way.
Is there?
But what I think is interesting is I changed the way that I broadcast the game. When I'm sitting at Capahan, I've got TrackMan. There have been other places where I've been able to use TrackMan. SAU Edwardsville has it, and I was able to use it when I was there. They gave me the IP address, and I was able to log in and call a game. When you call a game with TrackMan, you can just report what TrackMan said that pitch was or was not. TrackMan also has exit velo. It's got spin rate. It's got the distance that a ball breaks. It's got how long did that home run go. It's got the exact measurements. But the point is, now college umpires are graded on the TrackMan strike zone. They're all taught, okay, here's the strike zone. Here's the buffer for TrackMan. You are graded on this, but you're also graded on the buffer zone. So when I started calling games at Capahal with TrackMan, now I'm saying, okay, TrackMan said that pitch was fill in the blank, whatever that pitch was according to TrackMan. And when a pitcher, you could differ as to whether or not it is out of the zone, but it's in the buffer zone that TrackMan has. But if it's in the box and an umpire calls it a ball, he missed it, period. And if it's outside the buffer zone, he missed it. And it will be graded as such by the conference that is employing him for that particular game. Just saying, Murray State was very upset. And you are in tough losses. Now, Murray State has to play an elimination game today, Mike. LSU beat Arkansas. That was a heck of a game. Yesterday, it was Coastal Carolina beating Oregon State, so that means Oregon State falls into the loser's bracket. The first team eliminated Arizona. Watching that game, Louisville put together a 6-run eighth inning. Everything that could go wrong for Arizona in that inning went wrong. So Arizona's out. Today, 2 games, 1 o'clock, elimination game between Arkansas and Murray State. Can you imagine Arkansas fans if a mid-major ends their season 2 years in a row? SEMO last year, and now if they lose to Murray State, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, especially going out there kind of the favorite to win the whole thing, which I know some could say them or LSU, but that would not be very, very good to sit with 2 years in a row.
So Murray's got to string together a 4-game winning streak to make it to the finals.
That's tough.
It's going to be tough.
That's tough.
The 6 o'clock game tonight, and again, these are all on ESPN, UCLA, LSU, winner's bracket game. But Murray State today at 1, and I did want to pass this along, Mike. at Rocco's Bar in Omaha. It's the Jello Shot Challenge, $5 Jello shots. LSU, when they won the national championship with Paul Skeens 2 years ago, they were the overwhelming leader in the Jello shots. 8 teams, and now Arizona has been eliminated. 8 teams. Who do you think is number one in Jello shots, and where do you think Murray State stacks up with the other schools? Because I've got the Jello shot update.
Well, I think going in, I think LSU was leading going in.
They are
to the
by
start of the series.
They are by far number one, 12,737.
Okay, I bet you Murray's probably last.
Murray is second.
They're second.
6,117 shots at Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge. Murray State number 2. Ahead of Arkansas. So for Murray State, it's 6,117. For Arkansas, 5,360. UCLA under 1,000. They're last place, 860.
Well,
you're not going to get that information on every radio show. Now, you may with Clinton and Friends because he is at Omaha.
Yeah.
So he'll be talking College World Series. But I wanted to come armed for Bear and armed for Jello. Wanted to give you the update. Murray State solid showing at Rocco's.
That is pretty solid.
I think so.
Because I think they were in the lead early on, and then they kind of fell back to the pack, and now here they are. Second place right now.
Boy, they had a chance to win that game.
They did.
Had all kinds of base runners.
They did.
They just could. And, okay, that diving catch that UCLA's left fielder made, if he doesn't come up with that ball, who knows how that game would have won. Murray may have won the game had he not caught that ball.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, it was,
I'm getting the lunch ready to go, getting stocked up for lunch, and I will be in front of the flat screen watching Murray State at 1 o'clock today.
Well, when you put it, they got 4 games to win to get to the World Series championship. It's pretty daunting, but
very
one game at a time, and they have obviously shown to pull out a lot of rabbits out of the hat, that were unexpected. So win today and see what happens.
Man, can you imagine Razorback fans? They lose a SEMO one year and drop to Murray State the following year. All right, hello to the radiant and ravishing Dawn Shawn. She's coming off a 12-hour shift, and she is nestled in, getting some beauty rest. She's got a 12-hour shift tonight. Hope she has a wonderful day. Big plans today?
Yeah, just here we are.
All right.
The Monday after Father's Day.
I understand.
Before the start of the official start of summer, and
one less.
Keep an eye on that Murray game.
One less child at the house for the next few days. Isaac is away at camp.
Yeah. Oh, they're on mission trips. So
mission trip. Okay, not camp. Mission trip. Make sure we get it right.
It's right. Yeah.
Okay. Back tomorrow. No Cardinal baseball tonight, but we've got NBA Finals tonight, and it's going to be Game 5 in OKC. 9.5-point favorites. Is Indiana done? Was there chance on Saturday night where they got outscored in the fourth quarter, 31-17? Was that their last gasp, or do you think the Pacers still have life?
I think they have life. I mean, I think they got life. It's hard to just write these teams off. It seems like both here, NBA and NHL. So I want to see it go 7.
And at 9:10 tonight, if you're still up, MLB Network, Shohei Ohtani will be the starting pitcher for the LA Dodgers. I'll be up and tuning in just to see Shohei get it done. All right, Mike, run it back tomorrow.
We'll see you then.
All right, that is the lead singer of the Mike Rennick Band. Stay tuned, Clinton and Friends. He's still in Omaha, I believe. That's next. Enjoy your Monday, everybody.